Welcome, everybody. Thank you all for coming. I am Anya. I'm one of the leaders of Athenry Adventures and one of the committee members for AthVentureCon. Welcome, everybody, to the talk about TTRPGs for kids. Hi, you kids. Hey.
You know our names, you can say them.
I have a panel of experts here with me today. So today we have Katie Caulfield, we have Quiva, we have Grania, and we have Fia, and these are all highly experienced TTRPG players, and they're going to speak to that today. These are our TTRPG kids. So, what are TTRPGs? So TTRPGs is a tabletop role-playing game. It's a tabletop role-playing game is rolling dice and telling a story together. It's Dungeons and Dragons, but it's not only Dungeons and Dragons. There are other ones. So, I'll start laying the seeds. So, if you want to start your kids playing Dungeons and Dragons and games like this, if it's something that you're passionate about, how do you get them started on it? So one of the things that is a good way to get kids started is from the youngest age. There are beautiful books like the ABCs of D&D. And it's the artwork. It's just, oh, a beholder. I know what that is when I'm 3 and can't spell. It's laying the seeds. It's there. So this is all part of it. So one of the ways that you can do it is to add characters to games. So if you are playing Snakes and Ladders and the snake gets them and they have to go down to the bottom of the thing, it's not just move the piece down to the bottom. It's like add sounds to your games, add voices, add character. When you're the banker in a game of Monopoly, put on a silly voice. Oh, you have to give me $200. Adding character makes them invested in it as well, and it gives it holds their attention, and it sets up for down the line. Retell stories from your games. So some of you are adults who play in your own campaigns. Some of this stuff is not suitable for children, but you can water it down and pick out parts of it, and you can go home and tell your kids about the things that happened in your game. On the drive to school, if you're driving in the car, you can tell them about the things that happened. And they'll ask questions, and they'll have ideas, and they'll have suggestions. So one of the things that happened in our game, we were playing Curse of Strahd. These are books that my kids have, the Young Adventurers collection. One of them has Strahd in it. My darling son, Samio, heard that we were facing off against Strahd. And he said, oh, you got to make sure that there's milk in the castle, and that and all this. And he told me all these notes about all these things, and because he had read it in the book, and I was like, I'm not supposed to know that stuff, dude. But he's like, there's a sword with like sunlight. You should make sure you get that sword. And I told it to the GM, and he sent me back a picture of all his notes crossed out because I had the inside story. So retelling stories from your campaign, it engages them in the conversation. It makes them invested in it. Play storytelling games. So I say a line, you say the next line, creating stories together.
Oh, I do.
Very, very basic. You guys do that, right?
I do that. It's good.
We used to do
Yeah. Other storytelling games. You can buy this in Smith's. You guys ever play this?
Yeah, I
loads
love
of
that
times.
game.
What's this game? Can somebody explain it?
You roll them.
I'll go to Quiva first, Kate.
You open the box. You roll them out, and then whatever, and then it can be like any story. It could mean different things.
You're gonna roll the dice. Tell them what you get.
Okay, I don't know what. I only know one of these things.
Okay, so what's the one?
It's either an alien face or a mask.
Okay, an alien face or a mask. So you think about, maybe an alien came down. I think the middle one was a tent. I was camping with my brother, and I heard something outside. I opened the thing, and I saw an alien. What do you think that might be?
It's a building.
A building, okay.
Yeah, maybe you could be camping in a building.
Oh, you're camping in a building.
Camping in a
You
campsite.
build the story with the cubes. It's beautiful. It's lovely. They're silly, wonderful stories.
It could be a campsite building.
It could be a campsite building. Yeah, maybe that's where you run to go to the toilet when you're so scared. Story cubes. Bill loving the genre through cube-friendly things. So these are books Ben Hatka, I'm not sure if I'm saying his last name correctly, but Ben Hatka does beautiful books. Nobody Likes a Goblin. So adorable. We love this one, right?
Yeah.
He also does comics. What's this comic series called, Sam?
Mighty Jack and Zeta the Space Girl.
Thank you. Highly recommend them. It's laying the seeds. It's a foundation for building upon. And just play games. Play. Get down on the floor. Get out with your kids and put on silly voices. Sit in the car and make an English accent and drive your daughter crazy. These are like, it's fun. Just play, and the more you do it, the freer you'll be, and you will get into it. Why play TTRPGs with kids? They're good at it. They are built for playing pretend. They know they are free. They don't have the same rule set and narrow mindset that we have. They have so much freedom. They are good at it. You're good at it, right?
Yes, definitely.
Is it fun? I said it was fun. Is it fun?
Yes.
Just making sure. Just making sure. Empowerment. What does empowerment mean?
Of course, it's fun.
Not a clue. Not a clue.
It makes you stronger. It makes you feel stronger. Makes them have a voice. Lifelong hobby. So you're making little gamers into grown-up gamers, into people that can join AthVentureCon someday. And Katie, who wants to take over AthVentureCon someday. It's a multifaceted hobby. So it's not just storytelling. It's not just sitting at a table. It's something that I said in the talk earlier. This is mini painting. It's cosplay. It's there's so many facets to TTRPGs and the community that you are invited into and that you create when you are these people growing up through it. Storytelling is a great skill. It helps when you have to do a presentation at work. And to be able to retell information for other people to make it memorable. It's screen free. A lot of parents want something that isn't video games. I don't mind video games, they're cool. But it is another option. It's something different. It's cooperative. What's cooperative? Yes?
It means you're working together.
Okay, like you and me? Yeah, are we a good team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
That is fair. Family bonding, hey. Okay. Where do we start? So my top 2 recommendations for where to start with TTRPGs for kids. If they're little kids, like you can even be before they're reading, you can do amazing tales. We're going to work together in a little while, and I'm going to need your help, miss, to do some Amazing Tales things. Amazing Tales is a really basic TTRPG. Where's my sheets of paper? No, this one. You work together to make a character. You tell a little story with the character. It's done and dusted in half an hour. You can draw pictures. It's really sweet, really easy. The book is beautiful. It is under €6 on drive-thru-RPG. For a PDF copy of the book, it just tells you how the rules of the game work. It gives you ideas, so if you're not well-versed in creating things straight out of your head, I don't know where to even begin. It gives you settings. It's like, oh, we're in the forest. Oh, we're in space. It doesn't have to be Lord of the Ringsy, Dungeons and Dragonsy. Play to the theme that they're interested in. If they're really interested in Marvel, it can be heroes in a modern setting. It can be in space. Whatever thing appeals to them. The other game that we highly recommend is Hero Kids. And these are the Hero Kids. So we started out first with this other game, Tales of Equestria, with our kids. And then we moved on to Hero Kids during the pandemic when we're all stuck at home and nobody can see each other. Hero Kids became this wonderful little connection between these guys. We're going to talk more about that in a few minutes. You guys are going to tell us all about your characters.
Okay.
Tales of Equestria is the other game that we recommend. This, even for adults, this is a solid TTRPG. I highly recommend it. I checked it earlier and it was around €19 on drive-thru-RPG for the Tales of Equestria. I've not played this one. You guys have played this,
It's
right?
really great. It's
Can you tell me a little bit about this one?
So you make up your own character and you basically go on with like a little friend that you travel along with and you go on lots of adventures and you meet cool, weird creatures.
Okay. Sounds cool. The illustrations and everything. This is No Thank You Evil. Just Tales of Equestria is based on My Little Pony. They can design their own little ponies. My Little Pony had eczema, and when she got really stressed, she would burst out in these like red blotches on her skin because they have to have a fault. You can't have, or not a fault, but like what's the word, Drew?
Flaw.
Flaw. Thank you. That nobody's perfect, and that there are things that you might be terrified at the dark, or that there are things that are tricky because nobody is perfect, and you can't have super amazing things. Even Superman has kryptonite. There are things that are going to be difficult for everyone, and build that into their characters so that they know that that's real. Like, let's hear from the experts. Introducing, drum roll please, Hero Kids! Here we are. So this is our full ensemble. See, there you guys are. Look at you, great. So our first hero kid that we have, can you please tell us, Fia, who's this?
That there is Luna the healer.
Okay. Do you remember anything about Luna?
Luna loved helping, and she had a little cat called Tiger Lily, which she saved from a fire.
She did, that's right. Sam, can you help me? Can you give each person their character sheet and any extra ones leave here?
Okay.
Thank you, sweetheart. That was Luna, and look, there's your little cat.
Yep, there's Tiger Lily.
Please, Vanessa.
Who's this one?
Mama, I have a pet as well.
Yeah, I know, it's not on the picture, but you can talk about it. Who's this one, sweetheart?
This is Molly the hunter.
What's special about Molly?
She has really long hair that, and she's a whip. It's like half of Rapunzel's hair.
Okay. So she's a hunter, and she's like a ranged hunter, and she uses her hair as a whip. Hair whip strike.
And a lasso.
Right. Next up we have Vanessa Bronya.
Oh, Vanessa's over here.
She has a pish cat.
A bird?
not cat,
No, a bird.
bird.
Called Feather. And she's an archer. She uses a bow and arrow.
That's our lovely Vanessa. And we have
Stella.
Stella.
The water warlock.
The water warlock. So what could Stella do?
She has this sword. She has this whip, and she has water powers, and the whip is sort of like, if she doesn't have it, she can't use them. It's like it contains all the power, and then if Stella rolls a 6, she can freeze someone, and then if and then she can stop it from freezing, and then it'll just like break into pieces, and like underneath it'll be nothing. It'll just like be bits of ice.
Oh my goodness. So Stella gets her water whip and she whips into the bad guy, and if she rolls really well, so bringing in the dice, when you roll really high, it's a 6, right?
Yeah.
When you roll a 6, that water whip will not just do damage, it will freeze the bad guy. It's really cool. Really cool ability. We also have in our audience today, we have Charlie.
That's me.
And we have Laura the Smasher. That's you. And we had 2 other friends too. We have Eric, the Fire Warlock, and we had Emma the Knight. They're not here today, but they are our other Hero Kid friends. And they all together, this was during the pandemic, we would go online and we would play. You can buy this system, and it has pre-packaged games, it has maps all built into it with a layout. You can make the little tokens. They're line drawings. You print them off, they can color them in, personalize it, make it their own. It's a beautiful, beautiful game. It's a really good one for that kind of maybe 5 to 10-year-olds where they're starting out to read and starting to understand these concepts and can count the numbers on the dice and add small numbers together and start working together as a team. So, you do not have to read all this. Don't be intimidated by the big section of text. I'm not going to read all this. I'm just giving it as an example. This is a recap of an adventure that we did. Now, bear in mind, this was 4 years ago. These are little kids. It's a while ago.
I was like,
But I just love this moment. So this is where you got your cat, Luna. So I'm just going to read out some highlights from it. Laura used her hammer to smash the cart. So Laura rolled really high and the cart got smashed and moved out of the way. Stella used her water whip to quench the flames that were licking up the side of the bark. Luna tried to coax down the terrified cat, but the cat was really scared and you had to roll really high and the cat was too scared and wouldn't come down. Laura and Stella, now this is the kids are sitting at the table, they're coming up with this stuff themselves. They decide, how are we going to get the cat? Laura and Stella decide, we're going to put our hands together, we're going to help lift her up, we're going to raise her up to go get the cat. They helped Luna, boosted her up so that she could get the cat. Laura and Stella stood protectively around Luna, fighting off the little fires, and Luna used her warm blue glow of her healing touch to soothe the cat's burns. You guys saved the cat from this fire in the village. Beautiful. This is the cat. But wait. When you cleaned up all the soot, coloring pages. Like, it's a big investment. Look at this beautiful artwork you did. It's really lovely. Well done. I love you, Tiger Lily. Lovely. Just a note in case I forget. I wrote notes after these adventures. I would not have remembered half of this. I'm so glad I wrote down these notes. We set up a little Facebook group for ourselves, and I shared it, so all the mummies have all the notes. All us mums play D&D together. We set up the club together. We are having that history there is really good. So if you do start playing with your kids, do take notes, take pictures, save the drawings, take pictures with them. Vanessa and Molly kicked the smoldering door down. They had to go into this burning pub and they kicked down the door off the hinges. Visuals really help. That picture that I showed, I found a picture of a pub and then I found a picture of a pub on fire. And they're not real, it's not a real place, it's an artist's drawing, but just to give them the visuals to keep them engaged. Then there's words in that book and I was like, they are not going to know what a cleat is. I need to show a picture of what this is. So when we're playing the game, I'm explaining the task that they are trying to tackle together. Vanessa immediately ran forward. She leapt over the flames, landing squarely on her feet. Eric ran in and jumped over the flames, but they caught on his clothes, setting them alight. There is danger, but level it. It's not super scary. He put out the fire. It was fine. He rolled badly, obviously. So this is the result of the story because they're rolling dice to tell these things. When he rolled low. It's not dire, but it's not great. So I was explaining to them what had happened. So they heard cries inside the pub and poor Roger was trapped under the chandelier. How do you get Roger out of the burning pub when the chandelier is on top of him? I'm showing this. They're learning concepts. They're learning about pulleys, how pulleys work. If you pull it up and down, how to do teamwork. Some of them are putting out the fire. Other people are, oh, I'm really strong. I'll go pull on the rope. Oh, it didn't work. I rolled low. Don't worry, I'm going to come and help you. And they're working together to try and solve the problem together. This is the maps. I said they send you the maps on the system. This is one of the maps that came, so it shows you where all the little fires are. This is a really beautiful moment. So Eric was the fire warlock. He has green flames in his hands. When you're playing with kids and they're giving you suggestions, it is yes and or yes however. Try not to dampen down their creativity. Try and give them the moments to be creative with it. So Eric decided, I'm going to fight fire with fire. And he blasted the fire with his green fire. Then he's able to control the green fire and pulled all the fire out. And he cleared a path. I was like, that's a cool idea. Yeah, that works. Okay, let's do that. I couldn't come up with that. I didn't think of that. Let them come up with their ideas. Molly darted through the now clear path towards the door, calling to her friends, showing them the way, saying it was
Easy peasy.
easy peasy. Vanessa saw that the door was too far. She jumped through the window and Charlie said,
That was the most beautiful jump I have ever seen.
he literally said that. I write down quotes from them. And they get back to the town and they are talking to the sheriff, and the sheriff says, well done, kids, I can handle things from here. You need to find the source of this blaze, so get moving and find out what's happening. What, you guys, what did you think of that adventure?
I don't remember it.
But you remember it now. We're talking about it now.
I remember.
Yeah?
I think it was really fun, but sometimes I got so into it that I felt like it was actually happening and it was real.
Yeah, that's true.
Just like me.
Grania, how about you? Do you have any thoughts? It was good. Can you remember anything special, or even not even about this adventure, but just Hero Kids?
I think I remember once when we were going to a sort of a little cottage or
Oh, I remember something.
and we were going there, and then I think we went into a forest or something. There were loads of animals then. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a werewolf or something, and somebody in the cottage was really scared, and they went out into the woods, and there was somebody that was a werewolf. This is a good point as well. A lot of the things with these games, sometimes the kids don't want to hurt the animals, or they don't want to hurt the monsters. They want to talk to the dragon. They don't want to necessarily go in with all guns blazing. This werewolf, they found the cure for the werewolf. They had to go find a special flower or something to bring it to this woman up in the thing and make it into a cure to go help the werewolf. Yes, Katie, darling.
I remember another incident.
Yeah? Go for
It
it.
was where we had to stop this person, and it was actually role play.
You mean at the Hero Kids Festival?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Via?
I remember when we were fighting a crazy cat or something.
Okay.
And it was about to attack somebody, and then I healed it, and then it just went and then it ran away.
Grania? Can you tell us the special ability of your bird? What did your bird do? I think you were able to send it off to do messages and stuff or something?
Yeah.
What was it saying? Do you remember?
It's on your page.
Yeah. It was called Feather.
Feather, yeah. Feather was great. Giving them pets, they put them to use. They couldn't get into a crime scene, so Katie got her teeny tiny little hamster, and Molly sent this little hamster into the crime scene to go investigate because they couldn't go in, they weren't allowed in. You guys, let's make a character together. So we talked a lot about Hero Kids. I want to move on to some Amazing Tales. So, Amazing Tales, we're going to start doing this together. So I'm going to call for some things from the audience, and I would love to hear from Freya. So Freya, I'm going to give you this one to hold, okay? So the first thing that we need is a name for a character. So if anybody wants to shout out some name ideas, what name should we have for this character? Yes, Samuel?
Sean.
Sean. Sean what? Something heroic. Any ideas? I'm going to go for the audience for this one for a minute. Thank you, sweetheart. Any ideas? Do you have an idea, Freya? Can I hear it? We'll go with Sean. Sean is good. S-E-A-N, Sean. What is Sean going to be good at? Can I ask you, Bronwyn, can you give me one thing he's good at? Like his best skill. Freya, have you any ideas? So if you were going up against bad guys, you have to fight a dragon or a giant.
Good at being strong.
Strong. Okay, so really strong. I'm going to use strong as our first skill. Mummies and daddies, this one is a D12. We use TTRPG dice. This one's a D12. Their chances are between 1 and 12. They're going to roll. 12 is the highest. This is the thing that they're best at. They're the only one that can roll a 12 for a strength check. What else are they good at, B?
They're really good at figuring out, let's say there was a robber and they robbed something, they would be able to figure out something to stop them very quick.
Okay, that's a good idea. So they'd be able to find something to stop a robber really quick. So like good at maybe like noticing things. Would that be right? Yeah? Okay, noticing things. So they walk into a room and like Sherlock Holmes, they're taking in all the information. All right, and that one is a D10. So pretty good at that one. Any other ideas or things that they might be good at? Anybody else?
Maths.
Maths. Okay, they're good at maths. And can we also talk about flaws? So maybe something that they're scared of or they find tricky.
Something.
Any ideas? I was going for the kid behind you, but yeah. Sammy, you have an idea of something they might find tricky?
Wood cutting.
Wood cutting, that's very specific. I'll put that on the list, wood cutting. Maybe they had a bad experience with wood cutting. Okay, another one? Do we have any other flaws? Yes, Katie?
Fighting, summoning dragons.
Summoning dragons. How do you mean? Can you explain?
Like, if he needed a dragon, he wouldn't be really good at getting the rule right to get the right dragon to do it.
So maybe he's not very good at magic.
Yeah.
Like if he had to try and cast a magic spell, he's not very good at that.
Yeah.
Okay, so if there's magic in our world, he's not very good at magic. Poor Sean. Yes, Rania?
Scared of heights?
Scared of heights. I like this. This is a good one. And can we get one more strength or weakness? Yes? Quiva, you first, and then I'll come to you first. Or
Fia.
Fia, Freya.
Maybe he could, like, one of his strengths could be, maybe he could be able to, like, when he's in trouble, and maybe he could have, like, if there were animals around, he could like talk to animals, and maybe he could like give a call to an animal to like help him, maybe.
Okay, so talking to animals. Okay, and Fia?
I think he could be really good at running away.
Running away. Okay, and I have a question now for the audience. What sort of world does Sean live in? What universe is this? Oh, Bronwyn, yeah?
It's a one with like a lot of mythical creatures.
Mythical creatures. Okay, very nice. Yes, Sam?
It's possible to time travel in that world?
Mythical creatures and time travel. So you start, they've made a character. That took us like 5 minutes. Kids sitting at the table, they can draw a picture of what their character looked like. You guys start to tell this story. If you're looking for a mythical world, there would probably be something in this book. If they're really inspired by specific creatures that they see in some of these books, introduce those into the story and see what happens. Very simple, very easy game. You roll dice to see what happens. In this one, I think it's a 3 or higher, you succeed. Obviously, if you roll like a 12, you really succeed. Anything lower than that is a failure, but you gotta be careful how you describe that. It's like a setback rather than abject failure. Okay. Do you guys want to draw some pictures of heroes for me?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I have some coloring supplies for our little artists.
Great.
Can I give you some too? And Bronwyn?
Yeah.
All right. You guys can come up here to the side of the table if you like. Sammy, you too. You can come up here if you want to. So here are, and Ben, if he wants to come do coloring. So you guys, here's some monsters. You can flip it over and draw on the back if you guys want to help show us some art in a few minutes. And I'm going to keep talking to the grown-ups.
Okay.
Okay.
We will
Tips for
try
making
not
it
to
good.
listen.
Do you want to come up and draw pictures? Okay. Patience. You got to be patient. They are trying to compute a lot of information, trying to put their words together. Give them time. Say the things that they need to say. Rules light. This says roll these dice and stuff. This is a rules light game. Dungeons and Dragons is a rule heavy game. I wouldn't start them with Dungeons and Dragons. We start easy and build up to it. with the games that we've done, Amazing Tales is really, really simple. We moved on from it very quickly onto Hero Kids. It's a little bit more complex. Hero Kids had a basic character sheet, which is this one here. Built into the system, they had magic items. They had extra special abilities. They had ways that they could level up their character. Thank you, sweetie. That they could level up their character. They can get companions. They can get pets. They can make the world more unique to them and progress. There's a lot of room for it in there. Short games. I mean, like literally like play for 30 minutes. You expand it. The older they are, they have a longer attention span. Play to what they're able to do. Try and end on a high. Don't end on a low. Try and come to a conclusion. However you get there, try and come to a good ending point. The ending point of the story, the sheriff said, go figure out who started these fires. That was the ending point. It hooks them for the next time. Oh, we have to go figure out what happened with that fire.
We used to call that a folly and upper.
A folly and upper, yes. Let children or your child guide you, especially around the genre or the things that they're interested in. So if they want it to be a space adventure, set it in space. It doesn't have the same rules can apply. You can tweak things. The sword that Charlie uses could be a lightsaber. You can adapt things. This is your game. You can make the rules however you want them to be, however they suit you. Give them some control, shaping the world. So I heard that's a misspelling. I heard a great example of this where, mermaid. There's a mermaid party and we have to go to the mermaid party. What does a mermaid party look like? You guys, what would happen at a mermaid party?
You would eat soggy sandwiches.
Soggy sandwiches, yes, darling, yes.
And there would be a pool there and there would be a mermaid there.
A pool and a mermaid and soggy sandwiches. Any other ideas for a mermaid party, Thea?
You could sleep in seashell beds.
Seashell beds, Bronwyn?
There'd be like, basically, if, let's say, in real life, there would be hard food, but in the water, it would be soggy.
Exactly.
And, like
the soggy sandwiches.
Yeah,
And soggy.
And then how do you keep a sandwich together if it's soggy and underwater? Wasn't sandwich
You use seaweed wrapped around it.
Seaweed wrapped around the sandwiches. You're creating a world. Look, I had nothing to do with that. They made that up. Seaweed wrapped sandwiches. And you're creating this. Get them to draw the pictures. Get them to engage with it at the table. Mermaid party. Draw their characters, name their pets. Tangible. Use toys. So if you're doing maps and things, use little Lego figures. You don't have to buy the big proper minifigures. I'm obsessed. I kind of went and did that. But you can just use Lego figures. If you're playing My Little Pony, bring out the My Little Pony figures. Draw maps. I have this great thing. Thank you, husband. It is called Magic Chart. Magic Chart is my favorite invention, if I don't tear it. It has the squares printed on it. It can go onto the table, or it can go on the wall. It'll stick on the wall. And because the squares are on it, you can plot out a map. Here's our pool, where they're sitting, and our seashell bed, where they can go have a nap. You put your little Lego figure. I'm going to walk in here. Very, very simple. Swipe. Lovely. Really, really quick and easy. Costume pieces as well. You got a costume box, funny hats and things. You can bring them in. Sword like this one, Sam. Thank you, my darling. Lovely swords. So they can say, like, they can do the poses and stuff, and this is how it's going to work. They're kids. Make it as fun as possible. Make it a party. Now, this is not always easy. This did not work very well in COVID, but we did do it a lot afterwards. Make it a party, a festival, a theme. If you can have the food, you have sandwiches wrapped in seaweed that they talked about. If you can have the drinks that are these little things, and invest soggy sandwiches. That you do it on a summer day that you're going to have the mermaid one and you set up a paddling pool. That you find ways to make it themed. That they're going to have a water fight, but the water fight is part of the story of the game. That you're in character and you have water balloons and stuff in it. Make it fun. The other thing that it's probably going to be one of the bullet points. It's a great opportunity to make friends. So it doesn't have to be just your kids. It can be a play date. You and another family coming together, get the kids together to tell these stories. In some ways, when it's just your kids, they know you as mom and dad, and it can be hard for them to see you as the old man that's giving you a mission or whatever it is. It's tricky for them to accept that. But when there's somebody else there, there's a new rule set because there's different people in the house. So the house feels different, or you're in a different location, it feels different. So the rules are acceptable to be different, and they might accept it in an easier way. So having other kids there changes the dynamic. Yes, or yes, or yes, however. Talked about that before. Allow their creativity to come through. Yes, we are going to be having a nap in the bed and having soggy sandwiches. However, we are not going to be at a paddling pool. We are going to be under the ocean. How are we going to breathe under the ocean? And work
Ketchup bottle.
with ketchup bottles.
In a weird way.
Be what is missing in the room. This is a life skill. Like, if they are wild, you can come at them with a whisper. And it brings a different energy into the room. And it will change the focus. If they are all very, very shy, you can bring a different kind of fun energy or a zest or something into the room and make them engage in a different way. Don't kill them. It's for life. Don't. That's our job as parents.
It'll make them stop.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's on there.
Don't kill your child. Don't kill your child in real life either.
No. Yeah. Exactly. Emphasize teamwork. So you got to work it out together. You got to figure it out. Think about the enemy types. So this is something that I talked about before. Sometimes they don't want to go fight the chimera. They want to go talk to the chimera and make a friend. When we did the Hero Kids Festival that Katie was talking about, we had a big outdoor play date in Rosina's garden, and they had their costume pieces. That's what that first photo was of all the kids together. They had archery sets and stuff. They had wigs. We brought a costume box. But I gave all the parents characters. I was like, you're going to be this character in our little game. You're going to be this character. And they have to go around and solve clues. And the parents were up for it. They were invested. It was great. And the final thing that they battled that day, it could have been a dragon. I could have said, big red dragon. Oh, can we make friends with the dragon? It's such a lovely dragon. They were at a stage, whatever it was about everything that was within their little group, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful, innocent, lovely. They don't want to hurt the dragon. Their enemy was a wizard or an artificer that was making clockwork things. So I put two plates together and I put little cardboard feet sticking out of them. It was a clockwork crab. And the clockwork crab was going to come and pinch you. What are you going to do about this clockwork crab? It's not a real creature. It's a thing. They can hit that thing with a hammer. They don't mind hitting a thing with a hammer, and they delighted in hitting the thing with a hammer, let me tell you. Oh my goodness, they were whacking it.
Work. I just want to. I could bring in next time
They had toy swords.
You could give me with my hammer. Now I'm having the urge to break this thing down.
Please don't break anything. So the final enemy that they faced that day, instead of being this dragon, it was a clockwork dragon. I got a piñata. I stuck a picture of a dragon with cogs on it on the side of this piñata. This is a real proud moment for me. A little obsessed. I robbed a scarf from my mom. Hey, Mom. And it has like flamey colors on it. It's like orange and black and blue. It looks like flames. I hid that inside the piñata. First kid came up with a toy sword, whacked the piñata, and I said, oh, you see the dragon's getting angry. You see the inside of the dragon starts to swell and get red. And then outside, and I pulled the scarf from the thing's mouth. Ah! Screams. And they're so in it. They're like, my turn, my turn. Beautiful. It's just so great. Take notes, I said that before. Photo, make memories. That is what it is about. As they're getting older and they age out of these things, they might move on to Dungeons and Dragons. They might be able for that. If you want to weigh in when they are that little bit older into Dungeons and Dragons, I highly recommend. So you're going to need Player's Handbook. D&D Beyond is a website. It helps you make your character sheets. Really, really easy. You don't need to know all the modifiers and everything. You just need to tick boxes. It makes it very accessible. You can print them from there, so you don't need to have the kid in front of a screen. You can print off the character sheets. Cheat sheets, you can search for these online. Find things to make it easy for them to understand what's going on. This is a cheat sheet to know which dice is which. I use this in games with adults. It's helpful. Keep the tangible parts. Keep the maps and the minis and the pieces. Bring in the silly hats. Have a picnic on the ground with your adult groups as well as the kids. Keep it tangible. They like it. It gets them more invested. Short sessions you can build up to longer. With these guys, they have a longer attention span than they did 4 years ago. They're able for more. One Shot Wonders, I don't have a picture, is a really great resource if you're looking for quick games with all the resource in one book. One Shot Wonders, I highly recommend you look it up. The other one, like if you're looking for a long campaign, is this one, and I will pass it around. This is, you guys know this stuff, I'm gonna go here. Wild Beyond the Witchlight is a D&D campaign, so it's proper D&D. It is set in a Fae carnival. So you're, throwing rings on top of a thing, like downstairs in Ignatius's Wild Space of Wonders. It's a carnival, but it's magic D&D themed. So I think the thing you're throwing rings on is an almirage. It's a little rabbit with a unicorn horn, and its special power is to disappear. You throw the ring and it disappears, and it appears over here. It's like, okay, throw it over here. It's a magical carnival, and then they get transported somewhere else. The special thing about this particular adventure is, it is one of the first, or it might be the first, that has been released, official D&D content, that you do not have to solve it with combat. You can find another way to get through this whole adventure without having to fight. So what I was saying about the kids not wanting to hurt things, you can talk your way around it, you can negotiate, you can figure things out. I'll go fetch that thing for you if you give me this thing. You can find a way. It's a really great starting point. How are we on time? You guys are so engrossed. Sam,
Yeah.
can you tell me a little about your character from Wild Beyond the Witchlight? Can you tell us about Simon? What class is Simon?
Human fighter.
A human fighter. And who does he travel into this place with?
He travels into this place with Cherry Blossom.
Cherry Blossom. Who's Cherry Blossom?
Cherry Blossom is a druid, and she's played by Katie.
Uh-huh.
And her species? Fairy.
She's a fairy. And you guys are a little team, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And is there anything special that you can tell us about the game? Anything special that you remember?
Well, we adopted a giant snail temporarily.
You did. That's right. And I think, as far as I know, Thea and Bronwyn are also playing this campaign with somebody else. They also adopted a giant snail, right?
Yeah.
And we made truffle pizza.
Truffle pizza. Yeah.
What was our species?
Jingle Jangle. Jingle Jangle,
Yeah.
Yeah, Jingle Jangle, the one covered in keys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
Thank you, Sam.
You're welcome.
All right. Other resources. There is a wonderful podcast that we featured on in Our Adventures called Raised on D&D Podcast. Really good resource. TTRPGs.com, a really great website. And Drive-Thru RPGs, that's where a lot of those games, you can download the PDF for those games, comes from that website, Drive-Thru RPG. It has loads of games on it, but it does have those ones as well. Ooh, very nice.
It's a troll.
Troll and all the kobolds, K for kobold.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. And this is it. Can all of our lovely artists and experts, can you show us your drawings and your colorings, please? Beautiful. you. And that's it, you guys. Does anybody have any questions?
We don't need the microphones again, do we?
No? All good? Oh, Sam, yes.
Can you make up other characters for other stories?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Thanks.
So the room that we're in right now is called Merc's Rostrum of Musings. Merc was one of my characters. Merc was a drow elf, and her special powers was she's like a bard, but instead of singing songs to do her magic, she had tarot cards. So she would pull out a tarot card and say, "It's the sun card. The sun will shine on your skills." And she would pass that to her friends to give them powers. That's one of my characters. Another one was a tabaxi rogue called Star. So she's a big cat person, and she would sneak around with a hood. And you know what her favorite thing to do is?
What?
She would sneak up to her teammates and get a little pink ribbon and tie it to the giant barbarian in her party and cover him in pink ribbons just to troll him. It's instead of pickpocketing as a rogue, she used her skills for pocketing. She was tying pretty pink ribbons on her barbarian. Yes, Mum.
The festival that you did,
Yeah.
that was after COVID, obviously. Is that an annual thing, or is it something that, like, how would you recommend that for other groups that are doing this sort of thing?
I think we're all mad. It helps to have a friend with a giant garden and other friends that are willing to act silly and get into character. And so if you are friends with other D&D people and they have kids, it works really well. Is it an annual thing? As much as possible, they always ask. They always say, when are we doing Hero Kids again? The Hero Kids is what we call them. They are the Hero Kids. And then Hero Kids Festival is anytime they get together. So we did a Hero Kids Festival at wintertime. It was just going to the house, drinking hot chocolate, watching movies in pajamas. We didn't even play games. It was just, they are Hero Kids. That's what we call when they get together. It was just fun. That's it. That's it. Well, that's it, you guys. I hope you all have a wonderful TTRPG adventures with your kids. Thank you to our experts. The experts